we're going to move into, I think, top 5 time.
Hit it.
Okay.
Hit it, baby.
Let's do it.
Top 5.
It's time for your classic JP and the Beans top 5. It's time, Sith of all time. So without further ado, Beans, you go first.
Okay. So I will say Grievous is not on this list because he's not technically a Sith, which bummer for him because he's one of my favorite Star Wars villains. Look at him.
Great villain.
Look how dope he is.
Yes.
I wish I had him with 4 arms, though. Anyways, that's besides the point.
That's okay.
Look, my number 5, this is... Look, if you think about it, we don't have a lot of Sith
There's
Lords
actually not
on screen that we've had because they have the rule of 2 in place. You can't have and more than that because they tend to kill each other.
Can I just say you deserve to lose when you have a stupid rule like that? Yeah. Like, you deserve to be taking L's on a regular basis.
But
like,
when you kill each other...
kind of dumb.
When you kill each other, and we'll get into one of the best Sith because of that. But anywho, I had to do a deep pull for this one.
Yep.
I picked Darth Revan at 5. Now, this is an old school Sith Lord. He looks like a badass. He has 2 sabers. One is purple, one is red, I believe.
Nice.
You can look him up. And maybe he doesn't rock a red one. I know one is purple.
Purple and red.
Okay, so yes, sick, right? So this guy started off as a Jedi and then turned to the Sith ways, created a giant army, and then got amnesia and was retrained as a Jedi and then took out the army that he built. Pretty badass.
That is quite the turn.
I have him at
heel
5,
turn?
and then a face turn. It was a heel turn and then a face turn because he went back to being a good guy. So, no, Revan's dope. I would love... There's some actually, if you do a deep dive into some of the past Sith Lords, there are some cool ones that I'm like, why are you not making movies about these guys? Because these guys are sick. Revan is one of them, and you could look up all the other ones, and you're like, oh, that guy's terrifying. What would he do?
That's great.
Right, so Revan is my number 5.
Great pull by you. That's fantastic. I'm just going to be upfront. I'm not going to have any pulls that are going to top that. That's outstanding. Okay, my number 5 is Asajj Ventress. So much of this is just the look, right? You talk about dual lightsabers. She also has dual lightsabers. A Night Sister on Dathomir, which is like, that's great. Like, I don't know what any of it means.
She's a witch. That's what you need to know.
Right.
For layman's terms, she's a witch.
She's a witch. But just like, that is just some badass terminology. Night Sister on Dathomir. An apprentice of Count Dooku, betrayed by Dooku. Unfortunate for her. But she's got the look, and one of the like very rare female Siths that we get. So I felt like that was worth a call out. So Asajj Ventress is my number 5. My number 4, just mention him, Count Dooku, aka Darth Tyrannus. Which, listen, if you could go by Count Dooku or by Darth Tyrannus, get rid of the Dooku. Go by Tyrannus.
Yeah, I don't know why that he didn't go by Darth Tyrannus.
Right. Like, just lean into that. That is so much more formidable.
It's fine when Yoda brings it up.
Sure.
Because, like, Yoda trained him, correct?
Right.
So that makes sense for him to be like...
Yoda's like, sure, you knew me as this person. Like, classic.
But he should be like, no, it's Darth Tyrannus now.
Correct.
So dope and so underutilized.
Yeah. Real shame. I like that with his saber, he has that little curvature at the bottom to give a little more rapid twist. A sneaky good lightsaber fighter. Like,
Dooku's sick.
You look at Christopher Lee and you're like, you're going to be slow and easy to kill. And quite the opposite. He's formidable. Anybody that can take down Anakin and Obi-Wan in the same bout, that's impressive.
That's true.
So that's my number 4, Darth Tyrannus.
My number 4 is also Darth Tyrannus.
Come on!
That's my number 4 for everything that you said.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he does not get done justice in the movies.
Sure.
I think, and that's the problem with the prequels, is they just don't pick, they don't stick with one Sith Lord.
Yeah.
They pick a couple different ones.
Yep.
And we'll go into, this plays off of another Sith Lord here soon. But he's so, like, he's got this swagger to him of he could be a politician if he wanted to.
Right.
He just handles himself very well in those situations.
Yep.
So I always thought he was like he's powerhouse, but very strong, silent, more silent type. Like I'm going to show you that I'm better than you.
Sure.
Less talking, more.
Yep.
I'm going to kill you. So I got Darth Tyrannus at 4. My number 3.
That's great.
My number 3 is Sidious. Sidious is 3.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look, this man has his hands everywhere. Master manipulator. Honestly, if you had him at 1, I wouldn't blame you.
Sure.
It makes sense.
Yep.
He's ugly. Ugly dude. All right. But, I mean, if you think about everything that he was able to accomplish, not only in the prequels,
right,
but also in the originals. Right. So the originals, the prequels, dare I say the sequels, because why was he not involved in that? Okay.
Right.
So he managed to have his influence felt throughout every trilogy. That's impressive. Yep. You know, he killed his former master as well. They don't, you know, he's the Darth Plagueis the Wise. Yep. Correct. Yep. So, no, when you think of Sith and you think of the reason why there's the rule of 2, it's because of Darth Plagueis that there's a rule of 2.
Yeah.
Not really, but he fits that personality type. And if you think about it, that's why you had multiple Sith Lords in the prequels,
right, because
he was trying to find his successor. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, Maul's not it. He got offed. Dooku, he thought might be it. But then he got his eyes on Anakin and he's like, no, that's the guy right there. And just like, prepped him for that role. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Mm-hmm. So Sidious is my number 3.
I love that.
For all those reasons.
That's also my number 3. Dear Tweet, Emperor Palpatine, a.k.a. Darth Sidious. I asked myself and could not answer the question of would he be my number 1 if it were not for the sequels? Mostly because I'm just annoyed that he was in them. Well, he shouldn't have been in them.
To me, I don't even count the sequels as real. Yeah. I have blocked that part out of my life completely, and it's a better way to live.
Yeah, I get that.
So just think of prequels and originals.
I truly get that. What I appreciate, and you said as much, is that he is such a great force, both in the original, pun intended, in the original trilogy and in the prequels. Like his presence when he is finally, and it's actually kind of wild thinking back to the originals, how it takes time for Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious, to show up. He's not in those movies for quite a while. And then when he is, he wasn't microwaved. Like, it's actually impactful. So he's a great number 3. My number 2, Darth Maul, a.k.a. Darth Maul. As far as I know, he doesn't have any other aliases, right? The Shadow?
He probably does.
At some point.
It's probably like Carl.
This is pure, right, Bob. This is pure...
Jerry, no.
Looks-based. The coolest looking Sith that there has ever been.
By a mile.
The red and black skin, the spikes coming out of the dome, not the dual lightsaber, but
it's a dual. Look, it's a dual.
I think a dual where you're holding one in each hand.
It's like a bow staff. It's like a dual bow staff. You still call it the dual saber, but it's like...
It's incredible.
It's one saber. It's not dual sabers. Yeah. It's a dual saber.
Yeah. Okay. That's what you did there. He looks phenomenal.
Does the S make that much of a difference?
Let's say that it does.
Okay.
Let's just lean into it and say that it does. His fight scenes in episode 1 are just tremendous. It's weird that he's not allowed to say hardly anything in that movie. Like, it was weird at the time. It didn't get less weird with the passage of time. It's just like, can he talk? Like, is he allowed to speak? But such a phenomenal looking villain. And that's my only reason for him to be at number 2, but there he is at number 2.
Okay. My number 2 is Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For all of the reasons that Vader is. Vader's one of the most iconic movie villains of all time. He's kind of badass. The voice, when you hear that voice, you're just like, oh crap, you're shitting your pants. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. So it's weird because I remember more of when Vader shows up in Rogue One. They do such a good job.
Right.
He's in like 3 scenes. Mm-hmm. Vader's only in 3 scenes in that movie, but when he shows up, dear Lord, he takes over. You feel his presence. This is prime Vader. Okay. Do you remember when he like shuts the doors on those rebels?
Yes.
And he just starts slaughtering them all. Yep. You see the red just flash through. You're like, dear God. Mm-hmm. And it just also reminds you, like, imagine what would have happened if Obi-Wan would have lost and his body wouldn't have got burned up. Mm-hmm. Dear God, Anakin would have been a nightmare.
Yep.
So
he's an unstoppable unit.
He's such a good villain. Mm-hmm. I got Vader at 2.
Yeah. That's great.
And at number 1, I have Darth Maul. Because I will never forget watching the first movie and seeing the saber come out and be like, oh, this is cool. And then the second one comes out and you're like, oh shit. Oh shit. What? It was unheard of. Your mind couldn't fathom it at that time. You're just like, this guy's awesome. And then you get into Clone Wars, and they actually flesh that man out, and they give him an excellent backstory of him trying to get back up to the top, but he just can't anymore.
Right.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And he should have been, in my opinion, the main Sith Lord up until episode 3.
Sure.
And then have Anakin kill him instead of Dooku, and just not throw Darth Tyrannus in there at all.
Right.
Personal preference and opinion.
No,
don't get me wrong, love Tyrannus. Maul's epic. That's the definition of bad guy when you look at him. You could have done so much more with his character and chose not to, which is a bummer.
Right.
So I'm glad that he got the redemption, not as a, like, oh, he redeemed himself to be a good guy.
Right.
No, like, they redeemed the character as a whole, and like, this dude's awesome.
Yeah.
So I got Maul at number 1.
I love that. That's a great pull. My number 1 is Darth Vader.
As it should be.
Yep.
As it should be.
But I don't disagree with Darth Maul, and I love what they did for his character in the Clone Wars show. That such a great, hey, let's not actually have that character be a one-off. Let's utilize him. So great credit there. Darth Vader is just that, as you mentioned, he's one of the most iconic movie villains of all time. The breathing apparatus, the voice, the physical presence, and he's not just a powerful brute, right? He's exceptionally clever and devious. He obviously has outstanding abilities with the Force, great skills with the lightsaber. He's just what every great villain should be, which is exceptionally formidable and almost impossible, if not impossible, to take down. So,
He's such a force. Like, you feel his strength with the Force.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other fight that came to my head with him was Obi-Wan and him the second time around.
Right.
When it's just those two solo.
Yes.
Dear God, you feel his strength. And you're like, this guy is lost it.
Incredible. And all right, so in the movie Roadhouse, right? Patrick Swayze rips guys' throats out. That's great. Vader doesn't need to touch anybody to take him down. He can just do the throat choke from across the room. It's like, Swayze, I see your throat punch, and I raise you a throat choke from across the room. Like,
that was not the movie comp I was expecting at all. That threw me off.
No classic.
Out of nowhere, you're just like, it's like in Roadhouse. I'm like,
it's gonna tie in at all.
What? Okay, no, I'm with you.
That I still remember watching that scene eons ago now for the first time in episode 4, where Vader is lifting the dude up by the throat with the Force and just like, nobody does it. And he's doing it, you mentioned presence, he's doing it in a room full of people. So that's strength, right? Where he's not having to do it out of the sight of others. He knows, I can do what I want and get away with it. Yo. So there you go, Vader. Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Beans, anything else for the good people?
No, I think that wraps it. I think it's a great list. I think we nailed it.
Way to go. Way to go. I'm glad that Ben Kenobi did not end up on either of our lists.
Ben? Oh.
Yeah, yes. I said Ben Kenobi. I'm sorry. Ben Solo. Good grief.
I figured it out, but I'm like,
what a Freudian slip
I'm like,
there.
Ben
Pardon me.
Kenobi?
No, not Ben Kenobi. Ben Solo. Ben.
God, no. Kylo Ren, look,
No.
talk about missed opportunity. Kylo Ren, when he first comes on in episode 7, fantastic.
Yeah.
The Knights of Ren, when they're building them up, fantastic. And then they just drop the ball.
They just poop their pants.
Oh, it's like one of those fancy dancy eggs, and they just dropped it on the ground. And then they picked it back up again with the shards and just dropped it again. So, no. Anywho.
Super gross.